Today's topic of discussion is dating is dumb. So I see many guys in today's society going on all these dates with all these women, spending excess amount of time, excess amount of money, and just overall just wasting their energy on these stupid dates and pointless dates. I know certain guys, they've been on dates with hundreds of women and it hasn't led to anything productive or anything which is worth their time. So we're going to be discussing some key issues with the dating game and how you should not be dating and you should actually be approaching women for marriage purposes in the correct way. So first point is time waste. So it's a waste of time to be spending all of this time taking a woman on a date, going to a restaurant, taking time out of your day, organizing it, and going back and forth with a woman. And then afterwards, she just turns around and says, oh yeah, I'm not interested, or I don't see this going any further. Guys need to realize, right, you need to start valuing your time. So when you're speaking to a woman for marriage purposes, or before you've even approached a woman, you need to see whether or not she ticks basic criteria. So from her behavior, you need to analyze her and you need to see, oh, is this woman here who's actually potentially wife material? Does she behave appropriately around other guys? Does she wear modest clothing? Is she somebody who prays? And is she somebody who is of good nature? You'll be able to assess that before you speak to the woman. And if it's on social media, for example, and then you need to assess the woman's profile before you approach her and before you send her a message. Don't just be sending these women messages. You haven't even done your due diligence beforehand and you're just speaking to all of these low quality women. You need to start looking at a woman and saying, okay, filter out the ones from low quality and ones who are of marriage potential. The ones with low quality, you just disregard them. Don't even bother giving them any attention. So that's what I do with all these women. Any women who are low quality, I don't give them no attention, none, zero. So that's really important, guys. Stop wasting your time on going on these stupid dates. And then these dates here are not leading to anything which is actually productive. That time there, what you can use is, instead of going on that date, you can be like, okay, I'm going to actually invest that into my own knowledge, into my own skill set, into myself. And that will yield better quality results. So that's important. Next point is it lowers desire. So as soon as the more dates you go on with a woman, the more the woman is able to take time of yours. So take your time and she's able to just suck you of your energy. Her desire is going to go down by default because she sees this guy here, right, doesn't clearly value his time. He doesn't value his energy. And then she's seen it as, I'm not really that special for this guy to just be taking me on a date. Like, really? Am I somebody who's actually of potential here? Because this guy here, if he's of value, why is he taking me on a date for? So you need to vet a woman beforehand and you need to have a set criteria beforehand before you even speak to the woman. So that way there she knows full well, oh, okay, this guy here has a set standard. He has clearly an abundance of options because he tells woman from the get-go, okay, this is what I'm looking for and this is my set criteria. And then on top of that, it saves him a whole bunch of time and energy. So then that way he doesn't need to go and take these women on flipping stupid dates. So I saw these guys in like the red pill community, a lot of these guys in the dating communities, they're just wasting all their time. This is not the correct way to go about speaking to women for marriage purposes. The way to correctly go around and speak to women for marriage purposes is to simply get her contact details and then you let her know from the get-go, this is my set criteria of what I'm looking for. And then if she's interested in that, she can speak to her parents and then her parents can arrange a meeting with you. So then the parents, the guardian, so we have the wali. So the wali in the deen is the male guardian. He's there and then he's helping her actively filter the guy and filter out all the guys who are just scummy men and then guys who are actually of potential. So that's the way to go about it, and that's the correct way to go about it. In today's society, all these guys, all these beta males, they're just running around going on these dates. They're spending all of this money, all of this time, and then just lowering the desire of the women. The women don't respect these men. So desire goes down and respect goes down. So they're both equally correlated. So when respect goes up, her desire goes up. When respect goes down, her desire goes down. So this is what it is. That's really important, guys. You guys need to start seeing it as respect. That's what it is. You want to maintain that level of respect, and you want to respect yourself first. Respect your time, respect your energy, and respect your effort. And then a woman needs to know from the get-go, okay, this guy here, yeah, clearly values himself, and he's not going to just let a woman come and be like, oh yeah, take me on a date. This is what it is. So these guys, they need to start waking up to the real game and realizing that you guys need to start seeing the game for what it is. These women here are there to suck your time, energy, and resources, and you cannot allow that. You need to limit that for as much as you can. And the next point is haram. So dating in and of itself is haram. So I've discussed with you guys the correct way to speak to women for marriage purposes. If you're going to do it the correct way. Don't be doing dating and then expect dating to give you good results. God has laid out the correct way to speak to women for marriage purposes. This is not the correct way to do it. Dating is a new agenda that has been created in the last 50 years or so, yeah? This is not something which has been around for centuries, yeah? Men and women would effectively speak to one another, and then they would approach the family for the girl's hand in marriage. And then that way that's if they were ready for marriage. But if, for example, he was interested in a woman, he would approach the family, and then he would let the family know that, oh, I would like to speak to your daughter for marriage purposes. And then they would communicate with one another. So then that way there, it's that level of respect is at an all-time high there, because this guy here has clearly set it from the get-go. Okay, this is what I'm approaching you for. So I'm approaching you for marriage purposes, to speak to you for marriage purposes. And then the second thing is, he's got a set standard there. He's not coming in and he's just like, oh yeah, I want to go on a date with you, and then we're just gonna, go to some restaurant here, we're gonna eat some food, and then be like, oh yeah, is the food nice? And then, oh, do we have some level of chemistry? It's like, no, that just completely is not the way to do it. And that's why all these relationships, yeah, who are all these guys who are doing all these dating, yeah, their relationships are breaking down anyway. So when they date for like 6 months, a year or so, they end up, getting together. And then that relationship breaks down. And it's not a surprise the relationship broke down, because you started it off with a bad seed. You started it off in a haram way. You need to start it off in a correct way, and you need to speak to a woman for marriage purposes from the get-go. Not be that type of guy who's just like trying to, date a woman and then trying to say, oh yeah, I've got sincere intentions. You haven't got sincere intentions. If you got sincere intentions, you wouldn't be doing anything which is haram. So that's really important, guys. You need to deviate away from haram activity and actually do things which are gonna bring you closer to God. And then the final point is no family. So the dating game doesn't incorporate family and traditional values. So these guys and these women, so men and women, they're going on these stupid dates, and then they haven't got no family there, especially from even from the girl's side. So the girl's side of it, she hasn't even told her dad, she hasn't even told her mum or dad or anything, or any family member, and then she's just meeting these strangers, and these strangers could be all types of sickos. There's all types of freaks out there, and then they're just going to end up trying to abuse the woman, and then she ends up getting traumatized, and then she starts to complain, and then she turns around and says, oh yeah, men are trash, men are this and that. It's like, no, you've met a scummy guy, and then you didn't tell your dad. And this is what did you expect? What did you expect to happen? This is what it is. You're going to end up getting used and abused, isn't it? So if you approach a man for marriage purposes, and if he's speaking to you for marriage purposes, he's telling you, oh, okay, this is the way to do it. But then you're turning around and saying, oh yeah, I don't want to do it like that, and you want to waste his time. Guess what? You're going to take that guy, yeah, and then he's going to end up leaving, yeah, and then you're going to get another scummy guy. That's what's going to happen. So good men, they don't waste time. Do you understand? These loser type guys, they've got all the time in the world to go on dates, to spend excess amount of time with a woman, and to meet her. The guys who are serious and guys who are actually of value, they're not going to waste their time, and they're going to say, okay, this is what it is, and then you're going to need to bring your family member with you in order for us to meet. Otherwise, we're not meeting. Do you understand? You tell us straight away, look, we're not meeting until you actually tell your dad that we're meeting. So that's what it is, guys. You guys need to start setting the standard from the get-go. Don't be that type of guy just wasting his time going on all these stupid dates and then saying, oh yeah, why am I not getting good women? And why am I getting women who are low quality? You're getting low quality women because these low quality women are going on dates. That's what the problem is. So just to wrap up, time waste. So dating in and of itself is a time waste. Don't be that type of guy who's going on all these unnecessary dates. You need to have your set criteria beforehand. And then when you're speaking to a woman for marriage purposes, you're letting her know from the get-go, this is what it is. I'm speaking to you for marriage purposes here. I'm not trying to go have a little chit-chat with you. I'm not somebody who's trying to build up chemistry and trying to build up rapport. This is things which are out of your control. And these are things which build organically. And a lot of the times, this builds through no contact. Do you understand? So a woman's desire and her attraction and her interest goes up through no contact because you're effectively working on your purpose. You're creating that sense of mystery where this woman here is seeing, oh, this guy here is very difficult to get my hands on. He's very difficult to access. You know, clearly this guy here is somebody who's a man of value. He's working on his purpose. He's providing value to society. And he's somebody who values himself and he values his time, you know. So that's really important. And then the next point is it lowers desire. So with a woman, when she's constantly seeing you through all these dates, and when you're spending excess amounts of dates with her, she's thinking to herself, wait, this guy here is always going on dates with me. Has he not got other options with women? Has he not got that sense of, oh, okay, does he not value his own time and his own purpose? Or is he just going to keep on taking me on all these stupid dates and then it's not leading to anything? And then the next point was this haram. So dating in and of itself is haram. So the correct way to approach women is to speak to them for marriage purposes, and you let her know from the get-go, look, this is my set criteria and this is what I'm looking for in a woman. And then if she wants to proceed and she's like, oh, okay, let's see how this goes on, she'll give you the green light. If she's not interested, she's going to say, oh yeah, this and that, and then she's just not going to be interested, and you just move on. You go to another woman until she comes back, and then, you know, she starts to speak to you again, or she contacts you through social media, for example. Then you can proceed forward. So that's what a certain women, they'll at the beginning they're quite shy and then they're quite closed off. Do you understand? So if the direct approach can be a bit too strong certain times, she's gonna be a bit pulled away from it, but her respect is still going to be there. Do you understand? Her respect for you is going to be really high. You see that this guy here is different. This guy here was actually a guy who approached me the correct way. He didn't try and flirt with me. He didn't try and take me on a date or nothing like that. He told me for what it is, and then he said, look, this is what it is. And then the woman has that high level of respect for him still. And then chances are she's going to end up reaching out to that guy again, and then they can speak to each other for marriage purposes. And then the final point was no family. So dating in and of itself doesn't incorporate family and traditional values. So dating is a new phenomenon that's only come about in the last 50 years or so. For hundreds and hundreds of years, it was arranged marriages. So arranged marriages was the method which was used across pretty much all societies. And that right there had a lot of better marriages and higher success rate. Reason being is because the family would actively help the girl, so the daughter who's trying to get married, and they would help her get married. And then the same thing with the guy as well. The guy's parents would bring other girls who are actually of value to that house, and then they would speak to each other for marriage purposes. So that's what it was like for a long time. So I hope that makes sense. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.